Joining me now to discuss the latest developments in Trump's trial is Phil Holloway, attorney and host of Inside the Law on YouTube. Phil, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you. To begin, the court has adjourned in Trump's so-called hush money trial. Now, Trump is calling it another interesting day, that he didn't violate any law and said this is a scam. As for Michael Cohen, many are noting that Trump's attorneys seized on Cohen's misdeeds to sow doubt in the jury's mind, such as Cohen acknowledging that he lied under oath when he pleaded guilty to federal charges, including tax fraud in 2018, and that he lied to Congress about work he did on a Trump real estate deal in Russia. What do you make of the trial so far?
Well, great to be with you guys. Look, this is quite a perplexing legal theory. I've been practicing criminal law for 25 years or so, and I cannot actually get my head wrapped around what exactly the former president is accused of doing that's illegal. But in any event, I have never in my life seen a felony prosecution, or any prosecution for that matter, that is built around the uncorroborated testimony of someone like Michael Cohen, who, of course, is a convicted liar. He has a reputation for being a liar. He's admitted to lying under oath before. And so you've got a situation where a prosecutor is taking that and is asking a jury to convict someone of a felony based on that flimsy of an evidence. So in a rational legal world, I would say that Donald Trump would be winning this case hands down. But with a Manhattan jury, Alvin Bragg thinks that he's got basically the case in the bag with this jury. But the defense still has to go. So we still have a few days. And I think it's very possible the former president might at least eke out a hung jury.
Expanding on that, actually, former legal advisor to Michael Cohen, Robert Costello, said on Fox's America Newsroom that Cohen told him that he has nothing on Trump legally, that he was upset that Trump did not make him AG, and that he would do anything to stay out of jail. What do you make of these admissions by Costello, and how likely is Trump's defense team to call him up as a witness?
Well, Robert Costello, that was quite the interesting interview today. And of course, his testimony before Congress, I guess yesterday as well. This is a situation where we have an unprecedented scenario where Robert Costello, now being the former lawyer for Michael Cohen, he's been relieved of any attorney-client privilege because Cohen signed a release. And now he's coming out and saying, look, I know for a fact that this man, my former client, lied in this very trial. And so any criminal defense lawyer worth their salt, in my view, really should bring the former attorney into the courtroom to tell the jury what he knows. Because if you listen to the interview, he says that he can back up everything that he says with written documents and email and other memoranda. So I think that it's going to be critical to hear from this witness. Hopefully the judge will allow it if the defense tries to bring him, but we just don't know yet. The defense team has said they have not made a final decision, of course, on whether to put up any evidence. But of course, in addition to Costello, the big question is, will Donald Trump testify? And of course, time will tell.
Given that, Phil, what is next in this case? The prosecution has said there will be no more witnesses on their side, and Judge Juan Merchan told the court today that closing arguments could begin as soon as next Tuesday. How much longer of a process are we looking at here?
Well, the real question is, how many witnesses are they going to put on, and will they finish with Michael Cohen? He's not quite finished with cross-examination. They've got a lot to cross him on, but that being said, assuming the defense presentation is reasonably short, the case could go to the jury the middle of next week, because the prosecutor only would have to do what's called redirect examination. They said that might take about an hour with Michael Cohen. But there's also the issue of what we call the charge conference, where the lawyers for each side have to get together with the court outside the presence of the jury to discuss what the charge to the jury will be. In other words, when the jury goes back to deliberate, they have to receive their instructions from the judge. And since we still are not entirely sure what the prosecution's theory is of the case, it's going to be very interesting what the judge charges the jury as far as what the alleged crime actually is. I've never in my professional life seen a case even get started, let alone go to the jury, when we don't exactly know what the prosecutor is accusing the defendant of. It's quite something to behold.
And in your opinion, what kind of final witness should the defense call that would benefit Trump the most?
Well, if it were me, I'd call Costello, because Costello is the person who, if Michael Cohen is supposedly the prosecutor's star witness, well, Costello would be the antithesis of that, sort of the opposite, and that would be the person that I would want to leave the jury with his testimony, where he says, "Look, I was the man's lawyer. I represented him. I know him. He told me everything that he knows, and I've got documents to back it up. And I can say without a doubt that this man lied to this jury." If the defense can leave the jury with that testimony as they go into the jury room, I think that it's going to be a pretty good outcome for the defense.
Phil Holloway, attorney and host of Inside the Law, thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thank you.